episode 1 of Maxing Your Music Creation Experience without touring. My name is Will McBride. I'm presently in the Raleigh-Durham area, and I wanted to create this video because I get a lot of questions about how I've been able to do the type of performances and experiences I've done creating original music over the last 21 years with my band, the Will McBride Group. This video, it's targeted toward people who are local and regional musicians of original music, not cover bands and not tribute bands. It's really geared toward people who have a desire to create original music, and maybe you're over 40 years old or certainly past your rock star years, but you're proficient on your instruments, you're practiced, you have a group of musicians that are willing to do this with you, either a tight band or some guys that you can pull in that know your show or that sort of thing. You're definitely working in the scene. Maybe you have a family, or maybe you have a career, or maybe you have both. And you certainly don't want to tour, you don't want to play till 2 o'clock in the morning in bars anymore, but you want to play in the big rooms with sizable, eager audiences, very much like the bands that you admire. Well, that's what this video series is targeted toward, that person. As far as my band goes, we've been very lucky to have all the great experiences and opportunities we've had over the 21 years. But I'll say that if you do this long enough, opportunities are going to come to you. But luck is where preparedness and opportunity intersect. And think about that for a moment. And that will lead us to my first tip of the video series. And that tip is to be ready with a compelling product. And what does that mean? Well, the product that you as a band leader or an original music musician provide is a physical product, say songs that you are creating that are original, that you are the author of. A product that may manifest in a CD or digital streaming or however you choose to record and document that. Let me tell you a story. So back in 2008, my band had been playing for about 4 years, and we'd gotten really tight at this house gig that we had. We had put together a nice set list that included quite a few original tunes, and those were my songs. And so we decided collectively to go and record that in the manner in which we present it. In other words, kind of a demo, but with a little bit of studio polish. We were not working with a producer. I self-produced this, and the song had 6 original songs on it and 5 covers. So we're playing one of those originals, the one we think was we closed the show with the one we thought was the best one. There was a woman standing at the back. I could only see the shadow. She was talking to the waitress and pointing at us. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we're too loud, or there's something else she doesn't like, or I don't know, maybe she does like us. I can't tell. So we finished that song, thanked everybody. The room was not really full. And then we turned everything off, started breaking down, and that woman came up to the stage and introduced herself. Turns out she was a local radio DJ legend in the area. Her name is Kitty Kinnon. And she asked, what was that song we had just played that was an original tune, and where could she get a copy? I said, well, we have CDs coming. They're in production now. They'll be back in a week or so. I could bring you one. She said, sure, I'd like to play it on my Sunday morning jazz brunch show. This is on a commercial radio station, so it's reaching a lot of people. And so, of course, I'm eager to do that. So I get the CDs and I hustle it down there the next week and get her a copy. And that song, Hat Dance, was on the show almost every week for over a year after that. So we had a product, and it was a compelling product, and it was noticed by someone through luck. We were prepared, and the opportunity presented itself. So I'll give you one other example. This is not having to do with a recording, but this has to do with our performance. I reached out to a brand new venue that was about to open up that had advertised that Delbert McClinton was coming. I'm a big Delbert fan, so I reached out to them and said, we'd like to open for them. Long story short, they said, we'll consider it. And then as it drew closer, Delbert canceled. And so that gig went away. But the promoter who owned the venue told me that they are having Nantucket come and play. Well, Nantucket, if you're not familiar, if you're from North Carolina, you know who they are, or from the East Coast. But they're not a national band like Delbert is. But they're pretty popular around here. And So we accepted the gig, and it was not a full room. It was about a little over half full, I think. It was not the gig we wanted, but it was still a very good gig. And don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down Nantucket. Nantucket's a great band. If you get to see them, you should go see them. But it was not as big as Delbert. But we did the show, and we did it. We played like we would every show. Brought our original material out, got a good response. Must have impressed the promoter, because when Delbert rescheduled, he called me, and we got the Delbert show, and we played to a full room, and that was even more fun. And we again played that one well. That same promoter contacted me, I think 4 or 5 years later, and said, hey, I'm promoting a show at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater, which is a big amphitheater in Cary, North Carolina, just a suburb of Raleigh. And the Little River Band is coming, and my scheduled opener has bailed on us. Well, that's not pertinent to this story, but he had a valid reason, but he couldn't do the show. That promoter remembered us and asked us if we wanted to do the show. Well, of course I want to do the show. So we did that one, and I played that first gig as if it were a big one, and it was kind of big, but not what I was looking for. And it led to 2 other big shows. My point is that be ready with a compelling product. That was the tip, either a CD or recordings, and also your performance, which is your other product that you make. So anyway, that kind of concludes this first one. And again, it's be ready with a compelling product. Just to give you a little bit of background about me, I'm, again, like I said, in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. It's a mid-sized music scene. It's not huge, but it's not small. I spent many years in this band, probably 15 years in this band, playing mostly covers, sneaking in originals when I could. Once we started doing more original material, I focused on getting local theater shows, opener shows, and the royalty aspect, which I'll cover in a later episode here. All that stuff I did after I was 45 years old. So just because you're not 25 anymore doesn't mean that you can't do this, but it takes work, but it is possible. There is no formula to this. And I'll cover more stuff in the next sessions. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please click on the thumbs up, and please, please, please subscribe to the channel. I got lots of stuff from my band there, some gear reviews, and the whole Maxing Your Music Creation Experience Without Touring group of videos will be there as well. Also visit our website, the band website, www.willmcbridegroup.com. You'll see it below here. Thanks. We'll see you in episode 2. Be well.